Hello, I'm Ryan Lohner, a long-time lurker, first-time video poster for thatguywithglasses.com. You might know me from my articles of the Agni Booth, where Linkara has actually posted one article about Batman Becomes Batbaby. But I've decided to start my own little video series here to talk about novels, which is basically the one art form that the site still has yet to, let's say, have any regular series about, because let's face it, it's hard to really think of a way that it could be like really done in a video review. So what I'm doing here is basically, since this isn't any kind of regular feature on the site, I'm just setting up the camera and talking unscripted about anything else. And my first video here is on this book, Lest Darkness Fall by L. Sprague de Camp. I'm pretty sure that's how to pronounce his name, but if it's not, please tell me, because I really like to actually be factual with these things. Now, the story of this book is that a man named Martin Padway, who is a college professor in the contemporary times, which in this case means immediately pre-World War II. The book was written in 1939, so makes for a bit of interesting reading today with some of the values in it. But anyway, Martin Padway is on vacation in Italy after his wife left him, and he is struck by a lightning bolt and sent back to the tail end of the Roman Empire. And he decides that while he's there, luckily, not just 5 minutes before he was hit by the lightning bolt, he had a conversation with a cab driver about how someone could theoretically be sent back in time and change things, creating a parallel universe. And he decides to do just that by sustaining the Roman Empire and preventing the Dark Ages from happening. But he's just one man, so what can he do to stop the Roman Empire from falling, which is pretty much the whole hook of the story. Except in practice, it kind of isn't. See, while reading this book, I really got the feeling that de Camp wasn't interested in actually telling a real story per se. It's more like he got this idea for just a situation and wanted to play around with it a little, and was actually able to get those ruminations published. Because really, the whole book boils down to Martin Padway does stuff. And it's entertaining. I would recommend the book with a couple caveats, which I'll get to. But it's even his attempts to stop the Roman Empire from falling, they really don't matter that much to the overall story. It just is mentioned from time to time to remind us that this thing ostensibly does have an overall plot. But it's mostly just about how Martin Padway makes a life for himself in this time period that he is completely foreign to. And actually, I found the beginning parts of the book to be the most interesting, because he arrives in this place with very strange clothes for the time, no contemporary money, and very little knowledge of the local language, which is classical Latin. So he has to just do whatever he can to survive in this completely foreign world. And the way it does that is actually pretty fun to read, as it doesn't stretch credibility too much, and it's pretty interesting to see just how Padway is able to actually get into a business using his knowledge of the future, but in a way that doesn't really call that much attention to himself, although he is accused of being a witch a couple times, naturally. I mean, that's kind of the standard plot for this sort of thing. Just goes all the way back to Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court. And besides that, there's also this undercurrent of the political tides of the time, which I actually found a little hard to follow because I'm not really all that knowledgeable of the politics that was going on at the end of the Roman Empire. But it doesn't really matter that much because it's mainly just kept in the background the whole time until it explodes in this huge battle at the end of the book, which is also pretty fun to read as we see Padway use just his natural survival instincts to to survive a battle in which he doesn't have that much soldier training himself, and he kind of relies on the people around him plus his own street smarts that he's picked up during his time in ancient Rome to actually make it out of the battle alive, which is also pretty fun to read, although it doesn't really kind of engage your brain the same way that the opening thing does. It's just this big action scene to close things off, because I guess DeCamp couldn't think of any other real way to end it. And because, like as I said, there isn't much of a real ongoing story here. But even despite that, it is a very fun book. It's only a little over 300 pages long. It's very fast-paced, so it doesn't really take you a lot of time to read. I finished it in 3 days after getting it for Christmas with a bunch of other books, which I will get to if response to this is positive at all. So I hope I've gotten some people interested in this book, because it really is just a fun book to read if you don't want to think too hard, but still want to be entertained. And this edition also includes a short story, kind of a spiritual sequel called To Bring the Light, about a woman from the end of the Roman Empire who sent to the beginning. I have not read that. I have not heard very good things about it. But if I ever do, I'll post a follow-up to this. Hope you all were interested enough in my little rambling here, pause-laden as it may be, unscripted as it may be, I'm new at this. But please leave your feedback, and I hope to see you again later with another video.